What's up, you guys? Today we're going to talk about how to build unstoppable self-confidence with 3 tips that will completely change the game for you. Let's get right into it. I'm Brandon Eastman with Be Better Industries, and if you're new to this channel, then every Monday we upload new videos on the areas of peak performance, mindset, as well as achievement, how to go after your goals and get the results that you want. So if you're into those 3 things, hit the like button on this video so we can spread it to more people, and be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell. That way you're notified of all new video content that we release. So let's talk about confidence. What exactly is confidence? Well, you know how it feels, right? You know how it feels when you're in a state of absolute confidence. You know how it feels to feel great going into a meeting or going in to talk to somebody new. But what exactly is confidence? Well, I'm here to say this. I do not believe confidence is something that you are or that you aren't. There aren't just confident and non-confident people. Because even if you know that person, maybe that person is you, who is shy and they're afraid to meet new people and they're afraid to try new things, and when they go to talk to somebody they haven't met before, they're awkward and they're different, and they might think to themselves in their mind, oh my God, I think I just totally blew that interview, or I totally blew that conversation. But at the same time, those same exact people will do something different in their life. They'll do something that they're strong in. They'll do something that they've done before, and they feel completely confident in that area of their life. That could be their marriage, it could be their job, it could be a hobby of theirs, where whenever they do this specific thing, they just feel really good about their abilities, and they have no problem in giving it their all and having a great result. And that is because of this. Confidence is not something that you are. Confidence is something that you use when you need it. It's like your bicep. It's like going to the gym and lifting weights. Confidence is a muscle that you can strengthen and improve by using these 3 tips that we're going to talk about today. So it's important to understand that you don't have to be confident. You simply have to know how to access your confidence for when you need it most. You see, I'm an introvert. And a lot of people who know me would probably disagree with that, but it's my life, so I can say what I am, right? I'm an introvert. I like to spend a lot of time alone. I like to reflect. I love to read. I love to journal. I love to do all those things. But when I need to, I can be extroverted. If I go to an event or if I go to a party, I can talk to groups of people or individual people. For what I do full time with work, I'm a sales trainer and a director of training. And I talk to groups of people and give giant trainings to people, and I'm extroverted and confident for the time that I'm doing that. But it wasn't always like that. When I first began to give trainings, I was not confident. I felt nervous. I mean, I always feel nervous going into a training, but I felt nervous throughout the training, and I felt uncomfortable. And at first, I wasn't too great. Other people might say, oh, you sounded okay, you sounded really good, but in my own mind and my own physiology, I did not have the muscle of confidence built. I had to keep doing it over and over. And now I'm at the point where when I'm going into a training or I'm going into a conversation with somebody new, or when I'm nervous, I'm able to access that step of confidence when I need to. In a future video, we'll talk about how to step into confidence whenever you need it. But let's just talk about the 3 tips to develop and grow your confidence right now. Let's get right into tip number 1. The first tip to build unstoppable self-confidence is to define exactly who it is you want to be, or define exactly who you are. Maybe not who you are right now, but who you want to be in the future. And I think this is so important. So right now, I literally want you to grab your journal, grab a binder, grab whatever it is that you can write stuff down on. If you don't have any of those things, then while you watch this and listen to me, go into the notes application on your phone and literally type in or write down exactly who you are as a human being. And when I say define who you are, you might be thinking, oh, like a dictionary, like a definition in the dictionary. Yes, I want you to write down, if you went into your dictionary and you looked up your name, and let's say your name was in there, what does it say next to your name? Who is that person in the picture next to the description of the individual? Who is this? Who are you? And when I say this, do you believe that you're a confident person? Do you believe that you're someone who can go into a conversation with anybody and help that person to feel better or make that person feel important, because that's the outcome, right? Is to make other people feel good. Whenever I go into a conversation with anybody or go into a party or go into an event, my goal is to educate, but it's also to make that person feel better. And that's something I would put in my definition. Brandon Eastman is someone who goes into a conversation and makes someone feel better. Brandon Eastman is someone who can create content to help people change their lives in positive ways. That's my definition. So what would your definition be? Because if you're not defining yourself right now as confident, then how could you possibly do something and be confident in the process? So define exactly who you are. And to go along with step number 1, create a verbal definition for who you are. Something where you wake up in the morning and you go into the living room or whatever you do in the morning for your routine, and you just take some time and you say to yourself out loud every single day exactly who you are. Because you are who you say you are. It's very important. You are whatever you say you are. Because the more you say what you are, the more you begin to act subconsciously in the guidelines of who you say you are. I know I keep saying that, but it's very important. So who are you and what is your verbal manifestation of who you are? To give you an example, something that I say all the time for videos and in trainings is, I'm Brandon Eastman, and my goal is to help you to positively transform your life. And I'll help you to do that through my content. I'll help you to do that through my one-on-one coaching. I'll help you to do that through my book, through my workshops, my live events. I'll do it through all of those mediums. But when I first started saying that, I wasn't confident. When I first started helping people, I wasn't confident in my ability to do it. When I first started going to the gym to get my body in shape, I wasn't confident. I would feel like I was taking up space. I would feel like I had no idea what I was doing. I would feel like people were watching me and judging me. But the reality is, that is all taking place in the space of your mind. It is not reality. And even if it is, who cares? Who cares what other people think? And you might be thinking, I do, Brandon. I care what other people think. And you know what? We all do a little bit. All right, we all have an ego that wants to feel good. We want to feel important. And if we don't feel that way, then it could feel like we have lost power when it comes to influencing other people. And that's the number one thing that we truly want. If you dig down deep, we want to be able to influence. And if you're more confident, you'll be able to do that. And in order to do that, you have to define who you are. So who are you? Write that down. And then after you write it down, I want you to practice saying it out loud. Say, I am this. Because I am statements are the most powerful statements that you can speak, because it's a belief about you. It's a belief about yourself. And again, you are whatever you say you are most of the time. If you say things like, oh, I'm such an idiot, the more you say that, the more you're going to believe that. If you say, oh, I'm so stupid, I'm so clumsy, I'm so uncomfortable, then the more you're going to feel that, because what you speak into existence becomes your reality. So number 1 is define exactly who you want to be. Write it down and speak it into existence every single day. And be sure to put something about confidence in there, but include other things too. But number 1 is define exactly who you want to be. The number 2 tip to building unstoppable self-confidence is to try new things. Because think about this. What area of your life are you confident in right now? Is it your relationships? Is it your body? Is it the amount of money that you make? Is it your work itself? What is it for you? What can you go do right now that you would feel extremely confident in doing? For me, if I pick up my guitar and I'm at like an open mic night or a party or a campfire, I'm able to grab my guitar and play and sing comfortably, because that's something I love to do and I've practiced it over and over and over. And I'm confident that I can provide a good experience when I do that, because I've done it over and over and over. So how about for you? What is it that you do where whenever you do it, you know that you're extremely confident in this thing? To give you an example, I have a friend of mine, I'm not going to say his name just because I don't want to put his name out there, but he used to always say to me, Brandon, I just don't feel confident. Brandon, how can I build my self-confidence? Brandon, I struggle when it comes to doing this, and I struggle when it comes to this. I just wish that I had more confidence. And I said to him, okay, well, what do you do right now where you feel confident? And he's like, I don't really have anything that I do that makes me feel confident. And I said, okay. So I said, maybe you should try new things. You should try something and see if you like it and then get better at that thing. And he's like, okay. So time goes by, months go by. The next time I see this friend, because we see each other every now and then, but when we do, it's like we were never apart. He's a best friend of mine. And the next time I saw him, I said, "What have you been up to?" And he said, "Well, I've started to fish. I've incorporated fishing into my life." And I said, "Fishing? Interesting." I said, "Tell me about that." And he's like, "Well, I go to these places and I bring my boat out and I've got the canoe and I go out there in the kayak and I throw my rod and I catch fish and look at these pictures of all these bass that I've been catching." And he shows me all these pictures of the fish that he'd successfully caught. And I said, "How long did it take you to do this?" And he's like, "Well, I've been going out on the lake and the river like 12 hours for some days. And I've been out there like 3 to 4 times a week just practicing and getting better at this." And I thought to myself, oh my God, this is the most passionate I've ever seen this guy before. And he was talking about this new skill that he learned. And he talked about it so confidently, and he eventually went to do contests for fishing. This is someone who was nervous to go and talk to new people. Maybe not everyone, but when it came to women and girls and stuff like that. And now he's going and competing in competitions where he's actually ranking very high in these competitions, earning money for it, meeting new people. Because check this out, now that he's confident in his ability to successfully fish, he's translated that confidence into many other areas of his life, including meeting new people and trying new things. And now he's competing in a national championship for fishing. And this is a very short while, by the way. But he put so much of his time and so much of his effort into this thing that he learned to love, became more confident and more skilled in it, which he then translates into the other areas of his life as a result. And I'm so proud of him because he's truly a different man now that he picked up a new skill. He picked up fishing. And it's like talking to a new guy. He's so uplifting, not that he wasn't before, but it's just so cool talking to other people who are passionate about what they do. But what is that for you? What area of your life are you confident in? Because think about this. How do you feel when you feel confident in that skill? How do you breathe when you're feeling confident? How do you talk when you're feeling confident? Do you think that you talk like this when you're feeling extra confident? Do you look into the person's eyes when you're feeling confident? Or do you look towards the ground and with your shoulders slumped? No, because that's not confidence. Confidence is something where your shoulders are back, you're walking full stride, your voice has a booming factor to it, you're expressing your physiology, you're talkative about it because you're passionate about it, because you love it, and you're confident that you'll deliver a great outcome. You're confident that you'll deliver a great result. Confidence is in the way you talk, in the way you move, in the way you breathe. And if you don't feel confident, try doing all those things the way you would if you were confident. But we'll talk about that again soon. So try something new. Try something that makes you more confident because you found that you can get better at this thing. And then going along with tip number 2 is to get better at that particular skill. Get better at it. Keep doing it over and over and over. Get better and better and better so you get more and more confident. And the more skilled you become, the more confident you are. And the more confident you are in that area of your life, the more confident that you can become in the other areas of your life. So step number 2, try something new and get really good at it. And step number 3, when it comes to developing unstoppable self-confidence, which will also inspire people in the process, is to get yourself out of your comfort zone most of the time, as often as possible. Your goal is to become uncomfortable whenever you possibly can. And some of you are probably listening to this saying, I thought I was going to come to this video and you would have given me 3 secrets that I could just use immediately in order to become more confident, Brandon. Why are you giving me this not fun stuff? Well, I'll tell you this, the result will be fun because the principles are all the same. The more you can get yourself out of your comfort zone, the more things you will have tried, the more confidence you'll have in getting yourself out of your comfort zone in the future. As an example, I recently joined a club or an organization. It's called the National Speakers Association. I joined about 8 months ago, and I was so nervous to go to this training. But I knew in the back of my mind, if I'm more uncomfortable most of the time, I will become more successful. And I was nervous because I knew that there was going to be successful speakers there, successful business owners, and I would be the little fish in the pond when I went there. And I went there anyway, and I sat down. I was afraid to talk to anyone, which is unlike me, but people started coming up to me. And they're like, hey Brandon, I'm blah, blah, blah. And I started talking to them, and I realized, wow, these people aren't as scary as I thought they were going to be. They were actually really nice people. And they wanted to include me, and they wanted to help me get my business off the ground. And they wanted me to feel included, and they wanted to make me feel uncomfortable. Because people know when you're going out of your comfort zone. And check this out. When you push yourself out of your comfort zone, and you do something that you're afraid of, or something that you're nervous of, the other 80% of your brain kicks in and helps you. You're not just going to shut down unless you plan to shut down. It's very important to look into the future and have what's called positive expectancy, expecting yourself to have a positive result. But when you push yourself out into the zone that you're not comfortable with, then your other part of your brain kicks in to help you get by and help you succeed. Because the more you get out of your comfort zone, the more you grow as a human being. The same thing happened when I joined a club called Toastmasters. Toastmasters is a public speaking club where you go, it's every week or 2 weeks, depending on your area, where you give a speech in front of a room of people. Usually it's 15 to 20. Some of the clubs are a little bit bigger. But you give a speech and you're evaluated, and there's also impromptu table topics, they call them, where you're called on randomly to talk about a random topic for 1 to 2 minutes. And I was so uncomfortable going into that. I was like, I don't know how to speak to people. I don't want to be standing in front of the room and being judged by people who might not even like me, who might not even want to include me. But my friend James said, dude, just come along, join the club, just come as a guest and see if you like it. So I stepped out of my comfort zone. This is about 3 years ago. And I went to the first meeting, and guess what happened? I felt included. They started talking to me. I actually gave a short speech from my chair. I stood up at my chair, I didn't go to the front of the room, and they liked it. And they said, Brandon, you've got a lot of potential. We can absolutely help you with this. You should come to more meetings. And I thought to myself after I left, oh my God, I was so nervous to go here, but after I was already here, I felt very good about it. And you know what that does, guys? When you do things that you otherwise wouldn't do, once you leave, after you've done it and you leave, you just feel so much more confident about what you can do in the future. Because you think to yourself, if I can do this, then I must be able to do this other thing that I'm afraid to do. Or if I can do this, then what the heck is stopping me from doing this? So step number 3 is get yourself out of your comfort zone most of the time. Do new things. Do things that you've been avoiding because you feel like you're not going to get a great outcome or you feel like you'll be uncomfortable. Go for discomfort. All right, that should be your new slogan. Go for discomfort. Because sitting on your couch in a safe place is not helping you grow. Only stepping out of your comfort zone will help you grow. And that's tip number 3. So those were your 3 tips to develop your confidence muscle so that you can do the things that you otherwise might not want to do. If you found them helpful, please hit the like button below so that this video can be shown to more people. That's how the YouTube algorithm works. You hit the like button, it shows it to more people, and that's my goal, is to reach as many people as possible. But check this out. Since you stuck along for all 3 tips that I hope benefit you positively, I want to give you a 4th tip that can help you to become more confident. And number 4 is just do it. And no, I'm not ripping off Nike here. When I say just do it, I'm saying if you don't feel confident about something, if you're unsure whether you want to do something, just do it. Because Tony Robbins has a quote where he says, if you feel like you can't, then you must. Meaning, if you don't think you're going to succeed at something, then that just means you now have to do it. Because if you don't do it, it's going to eat you alive. If you don't approach the girl or the guy at the party or at the event or at the bar or wherever you're meeting them, if you don't approach them, you're never going to get anywhere. If you don't just try, you'll never know how you would have done. If you don't just begin, then you'll never get to where it is you want to get to. You see, that fear of doing something, that lack of confidence, is your brain trying to keep you safe. But remember, just like we said in step 3, you have to step out of your comfort zone. Doing what you've always done will get you the result that you've always gotten. So try new things. Use that confidence muscle when you need it in order to get the result you need, because All you need is a little bit to get yourself to walk up to the person. And once you're in the situation where you need the confidence, once you're in the middle of it, in the heat of that situation, then you're gonna do a good job. Because you have it in you to be great at whatever it is you put your mind to. And I believe in you. I believe that by using these 3 tips plus the bonus tip, you will completely shape your life in the way that you want to. But remember, it takes action. It takes applying what you've learned. It takes doing it. And tip number 4 is just do it. So if that was helpful, hit the like button. If you want more content like this every single Monday on peak performance, mindset, and achievement, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you're notified of all new videos. And until next time, be great.